Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a chit chat, get ready with me. I am using all brand new products. In case you missed it, I'll link it above, but I recently did a PR haul and I got a whole bunch of new products. I asked you guys to vote on what you'd like to see in this video and I did get a few votes, so I tried to incorporate the items that you got the most suggestions. So yeah, most of this is going to be brand new. I think there's only like 2 things that I had to pull that were not new. I did already prep my skin with my skincare, but we are going to start with a primer today. And this is brand new for me. I haven't tried this yet. This is from Gorgeous Cosmetics. It's called the First Base Foundation Primer. This is what the outer packaging looks like. It has a pump on it, which I always appreciate. I don't know what kind of primer this is, so let's just try it out. Hopefully it goes well with the foundation we're using today. Oh, it looks like a hydrating primer. It has more of a creamy feeling to it, which is good because I actually am a little dry right now. It has an odd scent. It's not unpleasant, but it definitely has a scent to it. It definitely has a little bit of a stickiness to it. Like as I'm applying it, it's a little difficult to spread. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like glue, but it does have that kind of consistency where you feel like the more you spread it, the harder it gets to spread. And it is starting to ball up in a couple places. In fact, it's balling up quite a bit. Okay, and I gave my moisturizer like 10 minutes to set. A close up, I don't know if you can see that, but it's literally coming off in little chunks on my hand. Okay, yeah, it is balling up, you guys, it is balling up everywhere. I don't know if you can see that at all, but it is literally flaking off my skin. Okay, I'm gonna have to wash my face and start over because this clearly did not like my skincare. I don't know if it's just this primer or if it's the reaction to the primer and the moisturizer. I just used my Ole Henriksen Sheer Transformation this morning, which typically never gives me a problem because it's a very lightweight moisturizer that absorbs quickly. And like I said, I did give it 10 minutes, but I'm gonna go wash my face and we're gonna try a different primer. I am back now. I washed it away. I re-moisturized using the same moisturizer, which is my Ole Henriksen Sheer Transformation. Love that moisturizer. So now I'm gonna actually try the YSL primer that I also had received. Again, this was in that same video, but I think I will try this again, but I'm gonna try it on a different day when my skin is not as dry, because I feel like maybe that was what was happening, and also maybe with a different moisturizer. So I'm gonna save that. I'll get back to you guys on that. But let's go ahead and try this one now. Hopefully I don't have the same problem. But this is the YSL All Hours Primer. This does have an SPF of 18. I told you guys in that original haul, I don't like the way that the packaging is. It comes out really quick and easy. It's very liquidy. Okay, it has the same exact feel as the one from Gorgeous, so hopefully it doesn't roll up. It has that sticky feeling to it. Yeah, maybe these primers, both of them, might be better for me when I'm more oily, which I usually do lean more oily, but recently because of the breakouts that I was having, my skin is kind of like overcorrected and now it's super dry. It doesn't feel quite as sticky as the Gorgeous one, but it does have a little bit more grip to it. So yeah, if you have oily skin, I think you would like either one of these primers. And this one is not balling up. It actually feels really smooth, so perfect. Okay, so the YSL primer, that was definitely a winner so far. Let's see how it pairs with this. So we are going to be using the Tarte foundation today. Again, I wish my skin wasn't as dry right now because this I know is better for more oily skin. It is their Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. If you guys aren't familiar with this, it has like a moussey whipped consistency. I actually haven't owned it, but I use it all the time on clients. But it has a thicker, more whipped kind of consistency. It's very full coverage, but it can be drying because it has that Amazonian clay base. And a clay base does tend to dry the skin a little bit. So it says it is a 12-hour makeup and it says it's oil-free, and I do have the shade Fairly Light Neutral. Hopefully that's my shade. We were able to, I got this one in gratis, and we were able to color match ourselves, so I did select this shade and hopefully it's the right one. So what I'm going to do is put some on the back of my hand. I'm going to be using a foundation brush for this one. I feel like this applies better with a brush rather than a beauty blender because of how thick it is. So I'm going to be using this Real Techniques B03 brush. I asked you guys how to use this brush and people said foundation, so I'm going to try that today. Grab a mirror so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, little goes a long way with this, by the way. I definitely like using a brush for this because I feel like it shears it out a bit, but I don't know if this brush is the right one. I'm going to switch brushes. I don't like that for that. I'm going to clean that and probably try it for face powder next. Okay, so I'm gonna move over to my Urban Decay optical blurring brush. This one works great for liquid foundations. Actually, this is one I like to apply my all-nighter with. So I just posted today, just a few minutes ago actually, my Sephora like shopping hacks, how to get all of the freebies and all of the deals. So make sure you check that out. I'll link that above. There's definitely some information in there that I think a lot of people are not aware of. I know a lot of people that do those videos, because I've seen some of those Sephora shopping hacks before, and I always watch them and I'm like, do they really give you any good and new information? But most of the time, those are made by people who are not employees, and it is good information, but I feel like it's usually stuff everybody knows, like don't buy the travel size because it's not as good of a value, and don't, or buy the value sets because they are such a great deal. And while I do agree with those, I didn't feel like that was really a secret, but hopefully you guys will find some new information in my video, because as an employee, I know when I started working there, I was like, when I saw like the mailers and stuff, which I talk about that in the video if you don't know what that means. When I saw the mailers by the register, I'm like, what's all of these? They look like 100-point perks. They're like deluxe samples that are pretty good sizes, and people were getting them just for free. And I'm like, what? How do I do this? So yeah, I know I learned a lot when I was working there for sure that I wasn't previously aware of. I really like the way it looks right now. I think it looks really nice on my skin. Very full coverage. We'll see how it wears throughout the day though. That's the biggest complaint I get from clients, is that throughout the day it starts to either look cakey or really, really like dry and cakey is usually what people say. So we will see. All right, so next what I want to do is apply a under eye corrector. Now this one I did not show you guys in the video, but this is brand new. I just got it from Octoly and it's from Becca. Again, this is something I've used on clients, but I personally have not used on myself before. This is the Becca Brightening Under Eye Corrector. It's got a very thick consistency, but a little bit, if you apply just a little bit, I feel like it works better. It's got that kind of peachy pink color to it. So I'm going to use this directly underneath my eye. They also sent me with that as a 2-piece set from Octoly, this First Light priming filter. I probably should have used this instead of the YSL one because it's more moisturizing. Darn it, I forgot I had that. So, all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of the corrector, and I'm just using my finger because, again, as I mentioned, this is a very thick consistency. So the warmth of my finger is going to help melt it into the skin underneath the eye. And then I'm also trying to be really careful. I'm barely picking up any product, you guys. Like I barely, so as you guys can see, there's hardly anything on my finger. Like that tiny little bit, that's what I've applied so far. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more application with just that much on my finger. So hardly anything. If you apply too much of this, it does get thick and cakey underneath your eye. Trust me, even though this is new for me, I have used it on clients during CMOs before, and I have made that mistake of applying too much, and then you can definitely see it. It gets thick, especially when you apply a concealer over the top. Next, I'm going to apply a concealer, and this is also from Gorgeous Cosmetics. This is the shade Light Neutral, and they just call it their Conceal It concealer. I believe it's their only one. I know from swatching this on my hand that this is very thick, so I need to be really cautious how much I apply just based on swatching it. But what I'm going to do is do a small triangle under my eye, and I'm just going to use the brush to very gently apply. Oh, that is very light. This Light Neutral, I would call that like a porcelain or fair shade. That is really light. If your complexion is similar to mine, I would see if they have one shade darker than this. This is a little too light even for under my eye. I'm going to try blending this out, even though it's a little thick. I'm going to try blending it out with this Artis brush. This is the Oval 3 brush from Artis. It's great for under eye concealer because it's like the perfect size. This brush actually does do a really good job blending concealer. I'm just worried because this one's so thick if it's going to work right. Yeah, it's not working right. So what I'm going to do is actually use my finger. Again, because of the thickness of this, I feel like my finger, the warmth of it, will warm it up and blend it out better. Maybe I didn't need the under eye corrector because I didn't realize how light this concealer was. Here, this is what happens when you try new products, especially when you try a bunch of new products all together. You don't know how they're gonna work together, and my under eye is really bright. Wow. Okay, well, you know what? I would almost try this concealer again without that under eye brightener. This looks literally white on me, like paper white, you guys. I am pretty fair, and that clearly looks like the wrong shade for me. wow. So if you are very, very light complected and you have a hard time finding a concealer that is light enough, try this concealer because it honestly looks like the whiteout concealer from Kat Von D. It is that light. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, actually, I have this powder, this loose translucent matte powder from Catrice. I just got this package in the mail from Catrice with a couple items, and this is another one I did not show you guys in the video. It arrived after I filmed that video, but it's brand new. I just opened it for the first time, so we're gonna try this out together. It's just a translucent powder. It doesn't look quite as crazy now. I feel like setting it helped a bit. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna do my brows real quick. I did not have a new brow product, so I'm just gonna use my traditional, my go-to, which is my Brow Wiz, and I'll be right back. All right, so now I have my brows on and my complexion done. Let's go ahead and move on to eyes. I had a few votes to try out this MAC eyeshadow palette. This is the Semi-Sweet Neutral 9 palette, or just Semi-Sweet ×9 palette. So I was getting a lot of people saying that they did love this, and then I was also getting people saying they hated it. So it sounds like it has kind of mixed reviews, so I'm very anxious to give it a try. There's a lot of really good like neutral shades in here. It's all neutral, it's all matte, so clearly it's going to be another neutral look from me. It's mostly what I have, mostly what I own is neutral palettes, so that's just the way it goes. This is going to be a little tricky because there is no mirror on this little palette, and since I am sitting not in front of a mirror, I'm going to have to use a combination of my viewfinder and a mirror from a separate palette, so I'm going to have my hands full here. So what I'm going to start with is this brush that I got from Gorgeous Cosmetics. I have not tried this brush yet. This is the B112. It looks like a good fluffy blending brush. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to start with the shade on the top row in the middle there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start with this creamy white shade and put that all over my lid as a base. Ooh, that's powdery. That kicked up a lot of excess, you guys. My palette's already messy now. So I'm going to go ahead and set that down. This brush feels a little tiny, scratchier than what I'm used to. It's not bad, but it's just a little scratchier than my other brushes. Okay, I'm gonna move to my favorite, which is my Featherweight Pro Brush from Sephora Collection number 38. Now I'm gonna take that middle top shade, that one there, a light beige shade. So that I'm gonna go ahead and just apply onto my outer corner of my eyelid, up into the crease. These are very powdery, you guys, so that might be what was bothering people. They kick up a ton of excess. They're not super creamy, they're just very like powdery. So that makes me wonder how well they actually wear on the eye throughout the day, because typically if it's very dry, powdery formula, it means it's less pigmented and it doesn't last as long. Not always, but that's usually what I find from more dry, powdery formulas. So we'll see. It looks a lot warmer on my eye than it does in the pan. I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like a very light orange shade. Let's grab the middle shade right in the middle of the palette there. It just looks like a matte mid-tone brown. Tap off my excess because there's a lot of excess, and we're gonna just do that right on the outer corner. Pull it up a bit into the crease, keeping it mostly concentrated on the outside of the eye. I mean, they blend pretty nice, you guys. Like, these are blending really easily. I don't usually find MAC shadows to be quite as powdery as these, so I don't know if it's a different formula or what's happening. All right, so here's a close-up on the palette. Can you guys see all of the dust that's kicked up? And I've only dipped my brush into 3 shades so far. So it's already getting pretty dusty and messy, so I just wanted to show you that close up so you can see what I was talking about. Next, what I'm going to do is take a flat shader brush. This one happens to be from Tarte. It was a limited edition brush, but you can still get one similar to that. What should I put on my lid? There's not really much for options here. You know what I think might be fun? I'm going to try this kind of yellowy mustard shade. Not on the inner corner, just like right on the center. I'm going to put that right on the center of my eyelid. I'm really curious about that shade. It looks cool. Ooh, that is cool. I like that color. Look at that color, you guys. That is cool. I really like it. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This one doesn't seem quite as powdery. The first 2 that I used, those lightest 2 in the palette, were the most powdery for sure. Does it start to look like it's getting muddy though? A little bit on this eye. I really like that color, but I feel like it did start to get a bit muddy on this side. So what I'm gonna do is take that mid-tone brown again and reapply that. And then the last step I'm gonna do on the top is I'm gonna take the fluffy brush again with that first, this guy here in the middle, and I'm gonna use that to soften up the edges, trying not to over blend anything. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a pencil brush, and I'm going to run the middle shade right here on the lower lash line, all the way across the lower lash line. And then, this is gonna be cool. Since I don't have any shimmery shades in this palette, what I'm gonna do is actually take this highlighter, which I am gonna be applying on my face as well, but I wanna take a bit of this just to the inner corner of my eyelid, just to brighten up the inner corner. And after swatching this, I happen to know this is a very intense highlight. So I'm just gonna use this little e.l.f. angled defining brush. Pop that right on the inner corner. So that's how it turned out. I think it looks cool. I really like that mustard shade. Can you guys tell? I'm a little obsessed with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply some liner now. So I think I will go ahead and do a little bit of liner on the lower lash line. I have this kohl liner from MAC in the shade Feline. This came along with that eyeshadow palette. I'm just gonna do a little bit on my lower lash line. I don't want it to be like too smoky, so very softly apply this. I'm gonna take this smudgy e.l.f. brush just to smudge that out a bit because it got a little skippy. There we go, that's better. That's a lot more than I wanted, but it was skipping on me, which is weird, so. All right, well now we're going for smoky. Next I'm gonna apply a liquid liner to my upper lash line. This is from the brand Stellar. They did send me a package full of stuff as well, I think. Yeah, I'm doing some lip products from them too in this video, but I'm gonna go ahead and open this guy. And it looks like just a standard felt tip liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a wing. I will tell you guys, I just did one eye with this. This is a very matte liquid liner, which it's very hard to find a matte liquid liner in a felt tip pen like this. So I like that liner. I really like that liner. All right, I'm gonna finish off the eyes using my Givenchy lash primer. I didn't have a new lash primer to try, but this one I've been obsessed with anyway, so I'm gonna keep using it. So that is gonna go on first. Okay, and then I do have a new mascara to try. This one is one I received from Gratis. This is from the Sephora collection. It's the Lashcraft Big Volume. I have been actually wanting to buy this. I've heard really good things. This has a very similar shape for the brush to the one from Too Faced, the Better Than Sex. It has that hourglass shape, so should be good for volumizing. It's not clumping up, which is good. Usually volumizing means clumpy, but it's not actually doing that. It's separating pretty well. Next, we're gonna apply a bronzer. Bronzer is another one. I didn't really have a new product, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this Givenchy bronzer. This is fairly new to me. I've only used it a couple of times. I do find that it is a little warm, but since I have a warm look on, it should be okay. So I'm going to use it more as a bronzer than an actual contour because it is a bit warm for me. But as you can see, it's very soft. It doesn't go on too harshly. I'll try to link all the products I use, including brushes, down below in case you want to check anything out. So yeah, as you guys can see, it's a very subtle bronzer, but it is a little on the warm side, so keep that in mind. Next, I have a blush to apply. This one, again, was not featured in that last video, but I did just receive this from Catrice. This is called their Illuminating Blush, and they sent me the shade La Vie en Rose. I think this packaging looks gorgeous. Like, look at this blush in the pan. Doesn't that look stunning? I can't wait to see how that looks on my face. Just using this little brush from, I think it's a Sigma brush. It's all rubbed away, I don't know. It's like my only blush brush. Definitely can see that little bit of a illumination to it. The color is quite subtle, which I appreciate in a blush, especially being a lighter skin tone. If a blush is too crazy pigmented, it can start to look like a clown pretty quick. Okay. All right, next we're gonna apply this Ofra highlighter. This is the same one I did use on the inner corner of my eye. I'm gonna use this brush from Sephora collection. Whoa, that picked up a lot of product. That might be more than I want. Let me tap some of that off. Okay. Holy intense highlight. Oh my God, you guys. That's a little intense for me. I usually go for a very, very subtle, but what the heck, let's do it. Why not? I'm just gonna take what's left on my nose and my Cupid's bow. I don't like to go too crazy there, so usually I'll get it all off on my cheeks and then just put that last little bit there. All right, so that's the highlight. Like, oh my God. By the way, this is the highlight Blissful from Ofra. Okay, So last, we're gonna do lips. This is gonna be fun, you guys. So lips usually is like my last thing that I apply, and it's usually just basic. But today, we're gonna be using some products from Stellar. This is one of their lipsticks in the shade Wicked Aura. It is a pretty intense, like vampy shade, so this look is gonna be very bam. And then we're using this, which is their Stardust Lip Powder Palette. I am gonna use one of these shades, probably, ooh, I don't know, one of these probably, to accent the lipstick. So they are actual powders, but you're supposed to use them to transform your lipstick, just to add like a little bit in the center and give it that like metallic finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the lipstick first. Okay, the lipstick does have a bit of a glossy finish to it, as you can see. It's really, really pigmented. So I'm going to take a little lip brush. This is the Sephora Collection Pro lip brush. I don't know, what should I do? I think I'm going to try the pink one in the middle, because that one is just like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need that on my face. So what I'm going to do is take that hot pink shade on this lip brush, and I'm going to apply it just to the center of my lips to see what it does. Okay, oh, that's weird. I thought it'd go on more metallic. Yeah, I already got the lipstick on my teeth. It's very creamy, this lipstick. I don't usually have a lip problem with lipstick bleeding, but this one does a little bit. So I would next time apply it with a lip liner. I just didn't grab one for this. Okay. Oh my god, it keeps getting on my teeth. This powder definitely needs built a little bit, but wow, that looks pretty cool. Can you guys even see it on camera? I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it all over my lips, not just to the center. It almost kind of needs built up a bit, this powder. And I'm just kind of tapping it on with this lip brush. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so that is the finished look. I really like the way that the look turned out. What do you guys think? It's different than what I normally wear. Don't normally wear this bright of a highlight, nor do I usually wear these kind of colors on my eyes or this bright metallic type lip, but I think everything turned out pretty cool. I'm very happy with it. So real quick, I just want to do a quick run through of what products I liked and which ones I'm still kind of like about. I definitely am going to need to try this more. As of right now, I was not too impressed with that primer from Gorgeous Cosmetics. I think the YSL primer was pretty good if you have more oily skin. Let's see what else. I really, really liked all the eye products. So I loved the Sephora mascara. I really loved the MAC eyeshadow palette. I think this is really cool. I also really loved the liner. Where did you go? I think it fell down. The Stellar liquid liner. I really liked that if you like a matte black liner. Some things I was not too impressed with was the concealer, also from Gorgeous Cosmetics. That one, I felt like the color was what was wrong there, but it did kind of peel up a bit too, so I'm not too happy with that one. I did like the way that this brightened my under eye though, the Becca one. Oh, and then the lip products. I think the lip palette's pretty cool. I want to try that more. So yeah, that's kind of a quick rundown. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this Get Ready with me today using all new products. If you guys want to see some of the other products that I did haul for you guys, let me know what you want to see in a tutorial or a Get Ready with me. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will see you next time. Bye guys.